everybody, Zayak Gaming here today, and this is part 2 of Cold Love Story. I basically am continuing off from where I was last time. This should be chapter 3, I believe. And yeah, let's get into it. Thank you. She dashed out of my house before I could respond. Her form disappeared into the frozen wasteland, slamming the door behind her. I sat stunned for a good minute. Where the hell did that come from? He hadn't even taken a coat with her. Imagining her in just a t-shirt in that brutal cold made me want to run after her. But I knew she was long gone by that point. John. Alright, damn. Yeah. It was now well past 12. The school would have called by now about my absence if it had been a school day. I let myself relax a little more. But it wasn't quite enough. Man, what is that? Hold on. Okay. Sorry guys, yeah. Okay, but it wasn't quite enough. The entire day was just a bit too much to handle. Maybe I was just worried too much. Let's see. Let's do some homework. Sat at my living room desk for a few hours, raking my brain over the questions, whatever. Okay, questions that probably would have been simple if I'd actually paid attention. The truth was, ever since Sarah had moved in, I hadn't really felt like myself. Her constant presence made my focus difficult during the school day, and I almost felt like I needed to keep watch over her. She had been acting strange all of day. All of day, but there I knew. What I could only assume was the real Sarah. It was just a girl who had trouble talking with other people. A girl who always had bewildered look around her, as if the world had shifted under her feet. A girl who hadn't even been able to look me in the eye for several days after we first met. She never talked about herself. She didn't seem to want to. She would always listen, though. And when she did, her eyes always seemed less piercing, less haunted. And I was certain she could sit silent for hours while I spoke. I always knew something was off about her, about the way she listened so devotedly. God, what do I know? Maybe I'm just overanalyzing things per usual. I'm not making any progress in this stupid worksheet. Maybe later. Send a text. Alright, I pulled out my phone, quickly sending Max another text. That would have to do for now. Now, all I could do was wait. So I guess we get to watch TV. Whoa. Best thing ever. I sat on the couch, mindlessly flickering through the channels. There was nothing good on. My phone suddenly buzzed. What? Who could that have been texting me? It hadn't texted Max. Pulling out my phone, I realized that it had just run out of batteries. This had gone far enough. Even if there was a school day, Max would have been home by now. For him to keep this joke up so long? Nothing. Sigh. I punched in his number and brought the phone to my ear. Dial tone. I tried again. Dial tone. I flustered. I looked at the monitor. No service, it read. What? It was a landline. How is that even possible? Must have something to do with the storm. I suddenly realized that I should have been checking the news. They would hopefully have more information on the possibility of school tomorrow. At this rate, the storm was going, it wasn't likely. I flipped to the channel. My heart practically stopped. I only heard the tail end, not really seeing any images or further details regarding the bus accident. Then a camera switched and they began talking about highway conditions. I felt unseen horror sickness gripping me. It couldn't be. Could it? Surely that little dialogue he'd heard couldn't have been about. That would be ridiculous. I wasn't even sure what I heard. I was definitely overreacting, after all. Now the police weren't releasing details about when it took place. Okay. It's because my house went. Why didn't he ever text back? Nothing I said to myself made me feel any better. I tried in vain to calm myself down, before quickly realizing that I had to know for sure. The house shook with gusts of wind, tremors being sent down every dark hallway. I stood up from the couch, slowly glancing at the snow beginning to plaster to the windows. Although gray and dull, the flakes seemed to blow against the oppressive darkness as night time fell. I secured every layer I could find, grabbing my flashlight and taking several deep breaths. Rigid night air seemed to ripple with heat, distorted as the door swung open. I locked the door behind me and fumbled the keys into my pocket with my shaky hands. I began to walk the route that the bus would have taken. My pace slowed, the sickness growing worse with every crunch of snow under my feet. The dim light from my house was becoming more and more distant, disappearing altogether as I turned a corner. It was just me and the flurry of snow. The skeleton trees surrounded me groaned against the wind. Their twisted black shapes were silhouetted against the deep blue hue of night. I hadn't seen another house for some time now. The families in the neighborhood were exceedingly spread apart, and the empty stretches of the road seemed to snake on forever at points. More often than not, the snowplows didn't even find the time to drive as deep into the community as I was going. I slowly came to a stop, hesitating, shaking my heart. Couldn't stop here. I had come this far. It was snowing quite heavily, but I could still certain I would be able to faintly see the tracks of the bus if it had driven anywhere. Despite this, I hadn't seen its tracks for over a mile. Ordinary cars rarely ever drove up the way I was walking, and yet I noticed that the roadway was layered with tracks of smaller vehicles. They looked fresh. That's when I saw something up ahead barely visible in my gaze. Lights, flashing red and blue just around the next bend. Whatever sanity I had left was quickly draining. I approached the lights and peeked around the corner. They were surrounded by an ambulance and police cars. A mangled mess and metal scattered glass sat the bus I had been taking for nearly 4 years. The windows were caked with blood, which was still a dark crimson red, perfectly preserved in the cold. The once hot, steaming liquid had frozen solid to the splintered glass, encircling it small, bolt-sized holes. The ambulances were stuffed with body bags as they surrounded the streets was scattered with a few severed limbs. I swore I could see steam softly rising from the dead white appendages, as they were ever so slowly covered in drifting snow. There were 7 police officers conversing amongst themselves. Surely I couldn't be caught here. I looked downright suspicious. Was it worth listening closer? I snuck slightly closer, carefully measured my steps. I could only make out a few words and jumbled phrases. Hacksaw, removed post-mortem. Oh shit. A few pieces. What the missing? What the fuck is going on? One of them suddenly stood upright, gazing darkly around the surrounding areas. Staggered back, blind terror forcing me into retreat. I began sprinting back to my house, trying to keep my stomach down as my heart lurched rapidly. I reached my front door and frankly fumbled for the key with my numb fingers, looking behind me in the inky darkness. Finally got out the key in my pocket, turned it, and suddenly a knock on the glass, coming from above me. I looked up, slowly, heart pounding. There in the window above me, the window to my room. Couldn't see much of anything. The light was off, which was a problem, because I knew I had left it on. Oh, fuck. Fuck! Is it Sarah? Realization made me stumble back, fear negatively my ability to breathe for a second. Her face was pressed against the glass, but it was so wrong. Horrific. That horrible, gut-wrenching smile on her face. How the hell did she even get in? I swallowed hard. Sirens droned behind me in the distance. It was time to make a choice. I could run back to the police, save myself, put this entire thing behind me, and never learn anything about what happened here on this cold day. Or I could go inside. Okay guys, I think I'm gonna save it here, just in case we do a little failing. Let's check inside for the first one, if we fail. Alright, I took a deep breath. Sarah? Hello? What are you doing in here? My voice trailed off. I wouldn't just shoot outside, dim moonlight dancing through the empty rooms of the house. If Sarah was still inside, she wasn't saying anything. What the hell is that noise? It sounded as something was falling downstairs. Something heavy. I could only see the base of the stairs, so unless it fell all the way down, you didn't give me time to repair this one like the others, which is a shame. After all, you said he was your friend. The ghoulish head dropped softly into the darkness. It was so pale and mangled that I didn't immediately recognize it to Max. A horrific expression was forever imprinted on his face as his eyes stared straight ahead, wide and unblinked. There. What are you doing on the ground for? Are you sick? Catch a cold? Sarah will make it all better. Isn't that right, John? Right, John? You need me to make it better. Make you better. Okay. Watch your feet on the steps. Don't let go of my hand. It's okay. It's cold in here, you know. Maybe if you just held me. My friends. John's friends are all here. Miss Bus Driver Lady is over there in a corner. You don't need anyone but me. Others will try to change you, corrupt you. But I didn't want you to get lonely either. Not like me. So I kept your friends here. Most of Jenna is in your closet. I cut a hole in the roof above the closet so she could stay there longer. Room temperature is no good for friends. It must be cold, like outside. I've let her be with you all week, but there's only me left now. Don't you understand how I am protecting you? I love you, John. Much more than your parents. Your parents wanted to leave you, but I made them stay with you. Made them stay. Under your bed. Don't you understand? So we gotta get that final backstory. I think I do. What? I understand. The daughter was happy with her family. But when her absence from school caught notice, she was forced to return. It was then that she... Oh, fuck. You... How did you... I don't... You... Do you understand? I... love... you. But after everything I've done... What do you think? Of me. I will accept it. Whatever you say. No matter what. Holy shit. Okay, guys. This is probably the hardest decision in the story, especially after what she's done. But with her backstory, I mean, hold on, I'm gonna save there. We're gonna go through both of them. First, we'll stay with her. Sarah, you were broken. You are a murderer, and those lives you took can never be replaced. You need to first understand this. Your delusions have cost me everything. But I don't think you're beyond repair. And for anyone to not try to help you pass this? Sarah, I'll never look at you the same again. But I'm not gonna leave you alone in this. What you've done is wrong. The way you think makes me fear for your life, as well as the lives of others. Which is why I can't let you out of my sight ever again. From now on, we're in this together. I won't let you hurt any other person, and I won't let you ever hurt you. What do I think of you? I suppose I'll come to find out. I don't think you know what love is. I think your delusions have warped the term. Oh, fuck. For me to say I love you back, it would be wrong. But I will say this, I certainly hope we can come to love each other. You're beautiful, and while your heart may be tainted by the past you couldn't control, I stand by my earlier statement. You're not beyond help, not beyond repair. You're not lost. I will not lose you. No matter what. I would like that. Very much. Cold love story. Okay guys, so that was a cold love story. First ending. We will now go to the second ending. And since we obviously got the good ending, let's load this. Fuck. Okay guys, so apparently let's just go through this again. Go inside. Yeah. This shouldn't take too long. No. Okay, guys, we didn't actually see this last time, so let's see this right quick. I understand the daughter was happy with her family, but when her absence from school caught notice, she was forced to return. It was then that she found another child waiting in the snow. Damn. Alright, guys, I have to turn you in. Sarah, you were broken. You're a murderer and you clearly... Okay. I think you've pushed too far, and I simply can't help you. I don't think anyone can. I'm going to have to turn you in. It's for your own good. If you think so, then I accept. What? What? No, that wasn't long enough. Damn it. Okay, guys. Good ending was definitely better. I think that's more the choice that they're leading for you to choose. That was actually really good for a horror story. Okay, guys, I'm gonna leave the download link in the description for this part 2. If y'all like it, then leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.